Any man that is born into this modern world is going to find peace, is going to find destiny, is going to find legacy through the filter of pain. Because as a man in this modern world, you are almost guaranteed to hit one of the great walls of our common shared problems. These things are things like custody, lack of worth, not being seen, addiction, PTSD, trauma, sexual abuse, narcissistic abuse, all the different things that we hear men talk about in our modern culture. See, one of my big problems with this is that the broadcast that we get as men from almost every direction of our culture is that, yeah, there's a problem. We have a problem as men. But there are almost no male leaders taking men through this, meaning men who have been on that dark side of the path, who have had their lives taken away, who have had their lives completely ruined and rebuilt themselves to find goodness in the world. And I really want to break this down to you because the solution that is sold to you from men is exactly that. It is sold. If you look at PC culture, it is that men need to express themselves and emote and be good. And if we just go to these workshops, then everything's going to be solved. And I get it that that may work for some men, but it's an incomplete path. It's an incomplete solution. And for most men who have actually seen the problems that we experience as men in the modern world, it's not going to work for us. If you take somebody who's experienced extreme violence, abuse, a vet, a man that goes through a divorce, going to the yoga class isn't going to fix it. When we look at feminism, it just says men are toxic and we need to take that toxicity out. If we don't take it out, then we're going to perpetuate this pain. Now, there's a lot that can be said about this, but I'm sick of having solutions of somebody's unresolved pain. In this case, women's pain, that its outlet is to take it out on men to find their power. I'm sick of that defining some sort of solution that is for a problem that I'm supposed to have just because I was born in this way, because I'm extra competitive, because I may talk aggressively, that somehow the recipe for fixing it is defined by your pain, your hysteria. But see, this brings me to the next false solution that we have. And this is really terrible because it comes from men. Just like a woman who has too much unresolved pain may side with feminism, men who have unresolved pain who don't know how to handle it side with different men's movements like the manosphere or the red pill. A huge sea of immaturity that is finally speaking for you, but is giving you an answer that is cheap, it is temporary, and essentially turning the greatest virtues of masculinity into a quick fix. Over and over again, without exception, we see that the solution to your problem, your pain, your divorce, your lack of worth, your being screwed over, your being forgotten about, your issues that you've dealt with and have harmed you, being ignored by our society, is being cooler, bigger, louder, having more status, having tons of money, having as much adventure and sex as possible. And this is somehow supposed to make you confident. Well, guess what? This is the recipe for disaster. This is part of the destruction of our Western civilization. This is the weakness that we are being given. And men, and hopefully not you, are dishing it up and eating it and thinking it will make their lives better. When in reality, it will give you a false solution. It does nothing to build real confidence, real virtue, real character that is actually going to build the next 5 years of your life, but it's going to make you feel good now. See, male pain in this modern world is something that I've dedicated my life to for 18 years. I spend over 30 hours a week on just group calls for my group. I work individually with men. I follow my own spiritual practice and path and disciplines. And in addition to that, I'm a father of 4 kids. I dedicate my life to men. And for the last 15 years, I've run and facilitated the longest 24/7 support system for men in our modern world, dealing with men's issues in the modern world. If you have a court case that needs legal organization, knowing how to choose a lawyer, switch lawyers, deal with custody, the courts, and the unfairness of it, man, we got you. If you have issues with addiction, whether that's gambling, sex, drugs, alcohol, and you can't seem to find an answer with it, we got you. Depression, purpose, or you just want to make your life better as a man, this is what we do. This is what we do and have done. And the sad fact of it is, as much as the manosphere, the red pill, and all these different people want to point out the problem, nobody has come close to building a solution, which I have made my normal life. I didn't want that to be the case, and man, I wish it wasn't the case. If you want to learn how to better your life in every single way through the voice of a men's group that has been living and breathing for as long as it has, check out the links in the bio and check out The Rising Man.